everybody? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for coming out. We're gonna riff a little bit. Let's fucking do it. Come on.
Stupid thoughts, the words slowly catches up your buckets for jobs. They wanna bring men to run the world. Now they know what they want and now they're clutching their pearls.
Alright, we do a living room mosh. Move your fucking pillows. If you got a table in there, get that shit aside. I want that living room two-step. I want that bleh.
Look, when it comes to Tim Pool, I would expect nothing less than absolute waste when information regularly goes to die in Tim's pool of shit.
There's a place where thoughts go to die under the safety of the bees watch fly. Tim Pool of shit is intellectual void. Every night, and all you had to do was lick the moon of the right surf. Tim full of shit, shit to your mouth, movements have nothing on it. Present the floor and nations for the highest bid. Grips like beer, like the skin of his head. Whoever reveals against as his fellow man is either a fool or a coward. He who does so in a beating is wrong. Under the beating, let the brain of morality. Not even nothing that cures such a malady. That's the shit off with an extra mentality. Then things blood, things deep down in that rain. Control that, but that's about it. So you should be around and tip full of shit. Tip full of shit.
That's the first time we played that live. That's a fun one.
You can roughly locate any community in the world, somewhere along a scale running all the way from democracy to despotism. One at the democracy end, another somewhere in the middle, and a third. Let's find out about despotism. This man makes it his job to study these things.
Cities get destroyed over their sexual deviations. Insecure men created more within a breath. They need a heterosexual
So for one thing, avoid the comfortable idea that the mere form of government can of itself safeguard a nation against despotism.
No, it's
We
really
are 5
political.
years away from entering the 21st century.
The console
Stands
wars.
on the edge of the interactive age. You have come
A dark
long
time.
way. But are you ready?
'Twas when Italians and marsupials
That's on line 2.
We're at
It's
war.
the sphincter.
What is going on out there?
thunder, rain and lightning, danger, waters rising, clamor, sirens wailing. It is such a bad sign. Shadows, dark creatures, clouds there rising in the air. People run for shelter. What's gonna happen to us? All the steps we take, all the moves we make, all the pain that stays. I see the chaos for everyone. Who are we? What can we do? You and I are the same in the way that we have our styles that we won't shade. But it's filled with evil and mine is not. There's no way I can lose. 'Cause I'm a hedgehog, baby, and I'm blue. Can't hold on much longer. Yeah, I know it's a one-way track. Can't think about the thing. I'm not gonna end this way. Open your heart, it's gonna be alright. How much longer? I know it's a one-way track. I won't count on others. I'm not gonna do the thing. Open your heart, it's gonna be alright. Gonna say something snarky, but I didn't give myself enough time. Straight into the riffing then. You like to switch from your nice voice to your demon voice? I like to do that. Not then. I wasn't gonna do it then.
Within, where the capital movers are false wheels staring. Where the boys coming early age.
guys. We'll be right back. Don't you go anywhere. We got some good news stories for you. Grab a snack if you need to, anything like that, but then come back.
It truly was the road. Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. It's me. I'm sorry. It's Hellion.Vision from the channel Hellion.Vision. Just wanted to let you know real quick that your style is bad. It's not good. It's really not good at all. But it's okay. I'm here to help. That's right. Designed by yours truly. It's time you got some clothes that riff as hard as you do, don't you think? Look at this fancy number right here. Look at this little number right here. Or how about this one? Yeah, you'd like to wear that, wouldn't you? Order this one, drape it over your nips, boom, it's Knit-Miss. In all sincerity, I had a lot of fun designing these clothes. I want to do it a lot more, and it's a great way to support the channel. Oh, wait a minute, handsome viewer, I forgot to tell you. Channel members get discounts. Check. 1, 2, 1, 2. What is up, everybody? Let me twist my knobs here for a moment, if you don't mind. if you don't mind, let a man twist his knobs. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of fumbling over my words. To another edition of Monday Night Stream, where I tweak the knobs ever so delicately, creating the perfect audio experience for all of you to enjoy. I want to be in your ear just so nicely. Okay, boom. Oh, that's, you know what? I think that's the sweet spot, ladies and gentlemen. NBs, they, thems, everyone in between, however you identify, welcome to the stream. We've got stuff today. Things as well. We will be addressing both stuff and things. And what is up, everybody? Ajax, Big Jerry, what's up? Nemethyltransferase, what's up? Bubble Blazer, oh, Bubble Blazer was the big winner of being a Sonic fan in the right place at the right time. Ryder, what's happening? What is going on? Everybody, I am so happy to see y'all here. As I said, we've got some shit to get into. We are going to go now. I know a lot of people have been covering ICE, so we're going to talk about them a little bit, but look, I'm going to save that stuff to the end. Heavy stuff towards the back tonight, okay? So the good timers up towards the front. Here we go. We are going to be going over, obviously, pizza and its capacity to measure military intelligence. Yes, you heard me right. Oh, look at that on-screen chat. That is kerfluffled right there. Am I right, everybody? That's what the word everyone would use is. Now, the other thing we're going to be going over, besides pizza, is the weird wide web. Yes, weird websites. What are they? What do they do? We're going to find out. We have some websites that just pull up images of a person pointing to where your cursor is on the screen. Okay, fantastic stuff. Waste of time indeed. Waste of time indeed. But it's going to make us happy. Now, aside from that, we're going to cover a wonderful story about the ChatGPT CEO crying about, not literally crying, I wish, but crying about the state of people's opinion on AI. And is it ever not funny to see a billionaire cry? It's always funny to see a billionaire cry. Squeezed indeed, squeezed indeed. Prepare the squeezing. Prepare the squeezing. All right, everybody, let's get into some stuff here. Oh, Cornella, what's happening? Welcome, welcome. All right, everybody. It's time to turn the grooves off. I hate to do it. I hate to stop the grooves like this. Oh, also, there's monkeys in St. Louis. We'll talk about that. So the Twin Cities are not doing well right now. Loose monkeys in St. Louis. Oh, yeah, I got all sorts of stuff here. There's things I forgot about. But let's kick it off here with a little bit of pizza intelligence, okay? Bing, bang, boom. Oh, Ryder's about to befriend a giant magic turtle. That sounds like a great time. All right, everybody, I'm gonna rock block us so we can cover the news like responsible adults here, all right? Shaboom. All music you hear on this channel is made by myself, so if you enjoy it, then enjoy it. I don't know what to tell you. Just enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a good time. Now, boop, 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 boop. Pizza. I love pizza. Okay? That's my hot take for the day. I love pizza. I believe it's the great unifier. Oh, shit. Binda Papi, we might have to talk nut retention a little bit. That may be a great palate cleanser. Oh man, who was talking about nut retention vids? Was that 80 memes? 80 memes, if you're around, send those nut retention vids. And we may have to cover that. Cornella, you ask for egg on pizza? You can do that? I didn't know that was allowed. Egg on pizza. Well, I'll be. Well, I guess I've heard it all now. All right, anyway. What are we talking about today? We're talking about pizza and the Pentagon. And how, I guess, you can put eggs on pizza. But here's the thing I think. You know, pizza, it's the great unifier. There's a slice for everybody. Everybody loves pizza. There's literally nobody who doesn't like pizza. And quite often, it is used as a reward in the corporate world for, you know, being a good little worker. Okay? Many times, in lieu of financial compensation, many lords of capital love engaging in a fine pizza display of affection. Controversial? Certainly. But it is what it is. I don't know, you know. Office pizza is one of the most depressing things in the world. That's all I'll say about that. If I think too much about it, it's not good. Bubble Blaze, you work at a pizzeria and you have egg cartons at the pizza making stations? It's a thing? Well, I'll be. There's a thing for everything these days. That being said, pizza, the great measure. Not only is it great because you get a slice for everybody. Everybody can share. Everybody loves it. And it's a great way to cheap out on people. But it's also a fantastic way to monitor the movements of major military operations in the United States. As a matter of fact, it's so reliable that, of course, the prediction market has gotten its hands on it as well. So this is going to be a story that goes all over the place, from the Pentagon to pizza to the poly market, okay? That's a nice alliteration. Good on ya. All right, but here we go. Pizza is the great equalizer, Ajax, 100%. There's a spider in my advertisements. Destroy it. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's like a drone spider or something. Hey, get out of there. Get out of there, ads. You know what? You know what? Yeah. Be gone, spider. We don't want you around here. Okay, let's get into this. So look, Pentagon pizza surge has a... Oh, writer, yes. Your husband is a poli-sci major, so you had to explain this to me? Okay, yes. So in our community here in the Discord, even Lizard was letting me know that they know people in tech, in defense, who literally use what's called the pizza index, okay? Now, it's been co-opted by gambling and, the end of days, but it's still relatively charming in its own right. So let's cover this. So the Pentagon pizza surge signals Venezuela operation. Late night delivery spikes reflect the pizza meter crisis indicator. Okay? Now this is, pizza orders maxed out when O.J. Simpson was running from the cops. Whoa, that's interesting. I'm sure that's probably because it was the first TV chase that they were showing on air, and nobody wanted to leave their TV sets. That's interesting. Oh, Spidey? Spidey needs to hear the pizza stats, indeed. Yes, this is from the Chosun Daily. So this is information that is widely available, widely known by tech heads. Oh, Lizard, what's up? To this day, the Pentagon denies that the pizza index is a thing or has any correlation. Okay, you know what's amazing about that? That's going to become even funnier because of the way that prediction markets have become intertwined in this. There's no way for the Pentagon to deny that there's any correlation because I fucking brain farted. Holy shit. No, there's no way for them to determine if there's any correlation. There's no way for them to deny that there's any correlation because the poly market people are intertwined with the government. They all have stake in this. So you're going to see poly markets all over this pizza index now. but it is an incredibly, anyway, let's get into it. It's a fascinating thing. For those of us who are not in the pizza loop, this is a fascinating stroll through knowledge. So, in the early hours of the 3rd, just before the U.S. military operation in Venezuela began, a surge in pizza orders was again observed near the Pentagon, the U.S. Department of Defense. Overnight delivery orders at pizza shops near the Pentagon spiked temporarily that morning, and this coincided with President Trump's announcement of the Maduro arrest operation. Analysts noted that I gotta say that again. I'm not gonna let myself just say analysts. Oh, Kermit, what's up? My God, if you stop looking at the chat for 2 seconds around here, it just turns into a whole cloacal fart. Cloacal fart. That's a great way to describe it. All right. So analysts noted that the so-called pizza meter, an unofficial indicator used to predict large-scale military operations or political crisis by tracking late-night food orders at key government institutions, remained a valid crisis signal in 2026. And it's true. You're about to see how we're going to fucking look at this shit. It is so deep. The pizza meter is based on a simple causal relationship. During national emergencies, staff at defense or intelligence agencies work overnight, and delivery pizza becomes their only meal option. The term gained prominence in the early 1990s when Frank Meeks, a Domino's pizza franchise owner in Washington, revealed pizza orders are more accurate than news engaging Washington's political climate. And I love that Frank Meeks is just running Domino's, knowing the fucking goddamn state of the political situation. Frank Meeks knows shit. Okay? There's no doubt in my mind. First of all, Frank Meeks probably knows who eats what pizza. And that can tell you a lot about an operation that's going on, right? Hexeth probably just gets all pineapple, no cheese. He probably has a cheese intolerance, would be my guess. This is alleged. I'm purely making this up. Speculative, of course. But I think he has a sensitive tummy. You know what? I'm locking it in. Hexeth has a sensitive tummy. Anyway. So, historical cases. You guys talking gizzards and walnut sauce? I'm about to die. Gizzards and walnut sauce? The cloaca fart index. Yo, you cannot look at this chat and read at the same time. Physically impossible. Mentally. Wonderful. Historical cases confirm the pizza meter's high accuracy. On August 1st, 1990, just before Iraq invaded Kuwait, CIA headquarters saw pizza orders surge more than fourfold. The day before the Gulf War, Operation Desert Storm began in January 1991, White House orders jumped sixfold, while the Pentagon's rose more than tenfold. The pattern extended beyond military actions. During the Soviet hardliners' coup in August 1991 and the Lewinsky scandal impeachment phase under President Bill Clinton in 1998, pizza shops near the White House and Congress operated all night. A similar surge was reported ahead of the U.S. airstrikes on Iran in June of last year. Big Bill's secret sauce. Oh, God. Yeah, Keg's breath is for sure lactose intolerant, Ajax. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I what do you guys think all the players in the political sphere order on their pizza? I bet they all have quirky fucking orders. For sure, Stephen Miller's getting all onion. No sauce, no cheese, just onion, no crust. He probably just eats onions. Man is an onion. The pizza meter is seen as a classic example of the security supply dilemma in modern intelligence warfare. After Frank Meek's revelation, the U.S. government attempted countermeasures, such as staggering meal orders. Wait, this is fucking great. Hold on. After Frank Meek's revelation, the U.S. government attempted countermeasures such as staggering meal order times or distributing military ready-to-eat rations to prevent leaks. Indeed, during operations like the 2011 Osama bin Laden raid or recent localized conflicts, pizza orders did not spike, leading some to declare the pizza meter obsolete. However, in large-scale, short-notice operations like the Venezuela crisis, requiring hundreds of personnel, mass orders to satisfy physical hunger proved unavoidable. So, yeah, I mean, even with the lactose intolerant, that like a lot of people find a way. A lot of people find a way. Does Trump order cheese pizza out of habit? I bet he does. I bet Trump orders cheese pizza, picks the cheese off the top, okay? Oh, the Buscemi index is fucking fire. I love the Steve Buscemi index. I'm, like, what's the most severe degree on the Steve Buscemi index? Probably Billy Madison's Steve Buscemi, where he shoots the guy, probably. That, I think, is probably the most severe Steve Buscemi. Milkshakes eventually made you intolerant? Well, you know what they say. My milkshakes make me intolerant of milk. That's right. I'm intolerant of milk. I think that's what they say, at least. Don't quote me on that. The real Pizzagate was here all along. Yes. The real Pizzagate was the pizzas we ordered along the way. So yeah, this is a very simple equation here, okay? The pizza index. Now, how do we know that this is like a pretty locked in type of thing that's going to be hard to deny? Well, let me show you the website, okay? And that's going to give you a good look into something. There is basically an official pizza index website. And it's thorough. Matter of fact, it's goddamn overwhelming. Overstimulating, even. Oh, Macaulay Culkin on the Steve Buscemi index? Hell yeah. All right, now, welcome everybody to the pizza index. Okay? This is the real-time pizza index. My cursor has now become a pizza, as you can see. And I find it just hard to believe that, yeah, boom, there it is. Okay, see that little Polymarket ad that just slams you right in the face when you come on here? Dystopian as fuck. That we're... Look, this is a great amalgamation of all sorts of information. Truly a pretty decent way to keep track of tons of things that are going on right now and critical information. Brought to you by the Geopolitics Stock Exchange. Betting on mass murder, our own demise, things like that with a pizza clicker. So yeah, it's not the ending we could have predicted, but possibly the ending we deserve. Anyway, where to even begin on the pizza index? It is incredible. Oh my goodness. Y'all are talking straight shits to the bowl, and I love it. So up here we can see, obviously, we've got our monitoring of many different Twitter and Truth accounts, right? Giving us all sorts of information. Congestion pricing in Manhattan is a disaster for New York. It's got to be ended immediately. All sorts of shit. Donald, let's see. This is on the auto scroll. I guess that's as fast as it goes. See, we got to even just figure out the fuck is the pizza cards, gay bar report. Oh shit, that's hilarious. Oh my god. This website is incredible. So if you're trying to keep track, oh my god, here's the gay bar report theory. The Pentagon Pizza Index expanded beyond pizza monitoring to include gay bars near sensitive government facilities. The theory suggests that unusually quiet activity at LGBTQ plus establishments during peak hours may indicate personnel working overtime on classified operations, as military and intelligence staff avoid public venues during high-tempo periods. Queerly reported on how this iconic gay bar near the Pentagon became part of open-source intelligence tracking, with observers noting correlations between quiet nights at establishments like Freddy's Beach Bar and subsequent military developments in the Middle East. This is, this is IRL gaydar. Wow, this is incredible. Inverse activity correlation. The gay bar theory operates on an inverse correlation principle. When establishments that typically see consistent evening traffic suddenly become quiet, it may signal that government personnel are working extended hours on sensitive matters. Observers track venues like Freddy's Beach Bar, 1.4 miles from the Pentagon, and the Little Gay Pub, 1.1 miles from the White House, monitoring for unusual dips in activity that coincide with geopolitical questions. I love this. Okay, let's learn. Let's learn. I'm all in on this shit. Holy fuck. So this is fucking fantastic. This creates so much, it's hard to say it's empirical evidence, but it backs up a lot of things. We're drinking water tonight, everybody. Which, of course, means I'm a level above you right now. Drink your water. Bubble Blazer, the gay bar personnel has to move over to the pizza joints to keep the local economy going. Yeah, oh man. A donut index. Cornella, that... We could probably index a lot of things based off of food orders. See... The thing that's amazing about this is that regardless of what you're trying to pull off or who you're trying to convince of anything or anything like that, humans are woefully locked into their patterns. We love our little patterns, right? I mean, come on. Who doesn't love a little pattern? You go to your favorite place. Even if someone says, well, maybe we should mix it up, we gotta do some... We have to do an advanced surveillance tactic where we switch up the gay bars we go to. We should maybe take an Uber. But everyone goes, well, I mean, Freddy's Beach Bar knows how I like my drink, so I'm going to go there. And that's where my type's at. So I'm not going to mix that up. I know we're trying to get into hobnobbery, evil kind of shit on a crazy level. But, like... I'm going to have my little drink at the end of the day. Don't you mess with that. Incredible. A bakery index. Yeah, since donuts are sold in multiple locations, that's great, writer. Yeah, I mean, big brains will figure out the relations, right? This is a big brain project right here, without a doubt. 100%. Bill Murray index. Maybe someone could finally... point him down. So what is the Pentagon Pizza Index? The Pentagon Pizza Index is a real-time Pentagon pizza tracker that visualizes unusual activity at Pentagon area pizzerias. It highlights a signal that has historically aligned with late-night high-tempo operations and breaking news. Is the Pentagon pizza theory real or accurate? It's an OSINT signal, supported by historical anecdotes and modern traffic data. Spikes frequently coincide with elevated watch or major news. Like any single indicator, it's best read in context with other signals. True. Okay? There's sometimes just good pizza nights. All right? Friday night, great pizza night. Oh, Kermit used to bake bagels? Man, they probably smelled really good. How do I read the dashboard and DEFCON levels? See, this is what I need to know. Thank God. Watch the DEFCON display. Activate spikes and the overall... watch the DEFCON display, active spikes, and the overall index. Look for busier than usual patterns, sustained late-night activity, and multi-location surges. These tend to be higher signal. So you really got to look at multiple pizza places to get a full picture here. What data sources does Pizza Intelligence, Pizza Int, use, and how often is it updated? We use public signals such as Google Maps, Popular Times, and compare them to historical baselines. Data typically updates about every 10 minutes. Currently tracking 6 locations. That's all it takes, 6 locations. That's incredible. High tempo operations. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Incredible. Okay, back to the live intelligence. So, let's see here. This is our pizza map. Oh. What is this? What is this? Wait. DEFCON 3. Does that mean we have some pizzas? Oh, We the Pizza is spiking at 278% right now. So they've got mad orders. Extreme Pizza. District City. See, now, this is so typical. We the Pizza, of course, is the pizza place that they're ordering from. And Freddy's Beach Bar is quiet. Motherfuckers. Yo, this is crazy. This is fucking crazy. Wow. Do not gamble. Obviously, gambling fucking sucks, and these polymarket things are soul sucking. Never do that shit. But this is a great source of information. Incredible. Domino's, Papa John's, Pizza Hut, no. See, they're really giving it away with We the Pizza, or maybe that's a distraction. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, been nice knowing y'all. This is it. This is, no, 278 at We the Pizza? That's not good. So, man. Okay, so here's our pizzas. Now, here we go. Okay. Yeah, 9 p.m. Why do we got so many pizzas going out at 9 p.m.? It's almost 10 p.m. It closes soon. Maybe that's why. I don't know. We'll see. Well, actually, okay, so maybe this is how we look. Because these close soon. Then maybe District picks up. Then maybe Domino's picks up. We'll have to see. Pizzato. Nothing ever happens index. Real-time doomsday clock, tracking 31 high impact risk markets. The higher the index, the closer we are to a major geopolitical event. Will India strike Pakistan by March 31st? What the fuck? This is crazy. This is a little super dystopian. This is a really super dystopian. Lizard, I use the Pizza Watch during geopolitically tense situations to assess whether or not our president is going to sundown and order a strike on a country he doesn't like. See, like, this is a good indication of that shit, right? I mean, Lizard, are we crazy? Are we crazy for looking at this map right now and being like, look, this is I don't like these numbers because We the Pizza is up and Freddy's Gay Bar is way down. Way down. 5% at Freddy's Beach Bar. 278 spike from We the Pizza, which is the most Republican sounding pizza place. That's definitely where Trump likes his slice from. Look at that. Yep. Okay, we can see all the details here. This is I don't like red flashing lights. That's never a good thing. Bilateral threat. Man, they're indicating everything here. I hate this. Probably don't fucking do that shit. Track Trump mention hub. What? What is that? Is this everything he fucking says? These are his truth posts. I mean, I can't even read. I can't even read his tweets. I'm not on that level. Look at this. This is insane. Okay, this is the history here. Oh, let's learn about pizza, y'all. Let's learn about some fucking pizza. This is Trump wouldn't even be at the Pentagon. Yeah, that's true. He's just getting zoomed in from Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, 100%. Ajax is the pizza watch freaking out. Look, this is not enough. This is not enough to indicate anything. Pizza is supposed to be sacred. It is. It is sacred. And as a sacred foodstuffs, it makes sense that it is the oracle. Pizza is sacred on that level. It makes sense that it's all knowing and all present. And pizza is helping to guide us to the truth. And that is the thing. That's the thing about it, you know? What is right and what is just and what is true is not always what we want to hear, but the pizza shows us the truth. And then comforts us in a cheesy blanket of deliciousness. Yeah, not at all enough to 100% predict, but it's a useful tool for emotional readiness. 100%. For the paranoid among us, this is a fantastic website. I could see myself absolutely getting hyperfixated on this pizza here. But let's learn about the history of this pizza intelligence, because apparently it's something that's been around for a while. So from the 70s to 80s, we had the Sova. Fuck me. From the 1970s to the 1980s, we had the Soviet Pizzant Doctrine. The Soviet intelligence operation developed unconventional surveillance methodology targeting Washington, D.C.'s late-night food delivery patterns. The KGB codenamed Pizzant, Pizza Intelligence. That's right. The operational logic was, if lights were burning late at the Pentagon or the CIA, and delivery couriers were hauling stacks of pizzas through the door, something big might be brewing behind closed doors. And the strategic rationale was that when U.S. military and intelligence staff worked late into the night during emergencies, they would order large quantities of food, especially pizza, since it's quick and convenient. I mean, you don't have to explain why they ordered pizza, okay? Because everybody fucking loves pizza. A spike in pizza orders could signal that something significant was happening behind closed doors. Plus, you know, you can always eat a slice and, you know, hit the launch button or whatever you got to do your thing. It's a one-hander, okay? That's the good thing. So now from 83 to 89, the pattern validation phase. See, Ajax, that's so smart. Ajax, you might have a career in intelligence, my friend. Because Ajax says if I were Prez, I would put a pizza oven in. Boom. Problem solved. They said order from different places. No. I like my pizza. Now, what if we had a pizza party where we all made our own personal pies with your favorite toppings? Now we got ourselves a fucking military operation going. All right? Now, I was told part of the pizza theory is that cold pizza is just as good, if not better, than hot pizza. So late night meetings means good cold pizza. Okay, so that's a very interesting take. Is it as good as hot pizza? I would never say it's as good as like a fresh hot slice, but it's a different thing. I do think it's a different thing. I like a cold slice. Okay? So I like a cold slice. But is it better than a hot slice? I don't know. You guys let me know. Is a cold slice better than a hot slice? Or just as good? Or does a hot slice just absolutely smoke a cold slice? But from 1983 to 1989, can I get an iced pizza? That's funny. From 83 to 89 was a pattern validation phase, and local pizza delivery drivers began noticing they can anticipate big news 72 hours in advance by upticks in orders to government buildings. The pattern held across multiple military operations is documented by Time magazine in 1990. The original testimony stated, "We know absolutely. Pentagon orders doubled up the night before the Panama attack. Same thing happened before the Grenada invasion. Last Wednesday, we got a lot of orders. Started around midnight. We figured something was up." And that was a Domino pizza runner from Time magazine in 1990. That's wild. You just don't know Who in society has the information? Okay? Like, you might be going around making the assumption, oh, the guy in my town who's like running around being like, the pizza told me, you know, they're invading Granada. And you're like, oh, no, that's not, this guy's nuts. He's talking about pizza. He's talking about all sorts of stuff. That guy might know something. That guy might be on, he, just double check. I would have never imagined pizza held such truths beyond the universal truth of unity and a slice for all. Kermit, your hometown's pizza is the best cold pizza you ever had. Kind of acidic. Interesting. Ajax, I did a big speech for youth legislator and the Nixon peace signs, and you did the Nixon peace signs at the end. It was natural. Didn't even know Nixon was doing it until afterwards. Everyone was like, what is this guy doing? He must be a crook. Oh, man, the Crystal Skull pizza. We love that. Proof of aliens pizza. So now, from 90 to 91... we had the Gulf War documentation, and the most celebrated case came during the Gulf War crisis. Frank Meeks, who we talked about before, this is our big brain, Frank Meeks. He was the owner of 43 DC Domino's franchises. Shit. Frank Meeks knows that shit. And he documented unprecedented late-night deliveries as U.S. forces prepared to expel Iraqi troops from Kuwait. Here's the recorded data. 101 pizzas got delivered to the Pentagon on January 15th, 1991. 21 pizzas to the CIA on August 1st of 1990, the night before the Kuwait invasion. 3 Pentagon orders jumped in 8 days. Okay. Wow. The digital renaissance. Here we go. So, from 23 to 24, we entered the digital renaissance. With Google Maps, popular time showing live customer traffic, digital sleuths realized they could virtually monitor Pentagon area pizzerias in real time. The pizza index exploded across social media during the 23-24 Israel-Hamas conflict. Really? I do not remember. I did not hear about this at all. April 13, 2024, Iran launches drones. Papa John shows busier than usual. Viral on X and Twitter. June 12, 2025, at Penn Pizza report detects surge at 6:59 p.m. Israel strikes Iran at 7 p.m. Fox News coverage detailed the pizza tracking phenomenon. Jesus Christ, that's insane. Real-time Google Maps data transforms pizza delivery monitoring from physical surveillance to virtual intelligence gathering. Holy shit. Now, in June of 2025, we had an official response from the Pentagon, and Pentagon officials have consistently dismissed the pizza theory, emphasizing both the lack of correlation between pizza order spikes and military events, and the abundance of food options within the Pentagon itself. The theory has gained renewed attention through extensive media coverage during recent geopolitical events. And the Department of Defense statement said, when reached for comment on Pentagon's pizza reports, June 12th post, and the pizza theory, the Department of Defense told Fox Business it has, quote, nothing to offer on the matter. So, they're not going to speak on the pizzas, okay? And then came the gay bar theory, which we read before. Fantastic. Okay, so all that being said, you know, I don't like that, I don't like our stats. Okay, so we're closed now. We're closed now at We the Pizza. Shit. We are closed now. I think this just bumped up. District City Palace. Let's see. District City, 10 p.m. We got a bit of a bump here. Oh, as we're looking at it, it just turns red. Yo. That's a little fucky. Oh, shit. Are we covering this on the worst night to cover this? Everybody, if you hear anything about anything, let me know. So what's going on with the braking bar here? No, wait, come back. I made it go away. Pizza, slice control. What is this? As Secretary Pete Hegseth, you must secure the incoming pizza supply. What? This is a game? This is a game? No, I don't want to... Shit. Oh my god, what the oh no. I don't want to play this game. No. I don't want to play Pete Hegseth pizza game. I hate this. I hate this sort of. Holy shit. Jarhead pizza. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Increased into... Oh, we increased from DEFCON 3 to DEFCON 4? Yo. Yo, this is a little fucky right now. I don't know. Oh, man. How do we, 8 locations monitored. Here's the time and location. What is the... Oh, there's the breaking news. Oh, I don't... This is like gambling. The Pizza Intelligence white paper. Oh, yeah, 4 is lower. I forgot it's inverse. Alright. Well, let's not get too worried about pizza here, folks. But this is the pizza index. And the gay bar index. Freddy's and the little gay bar, much quieter than usual. Air Force Special Operations Command has a small fleet of Cessna AC-208 combat caravans painted in civilian colors, capable of launching Hellfire missiles and very well could have been used to carry out boat strikes in the Caribbean. Jesus Christ, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. What's crazy about all this is it's great that there's this source for us to look at all this stuff and even monitor a lot of these announcements from Twitter accounts that are monitoring what Trump is saying. It freaks the shit out of me that people are gambling on this stuff. It's incredible that there's been this long, storied, documented correlation. But it does freak me the fuck out that people are willing to gamble on other people dying. It's pretty gross. But yeah, like all this poly market shit down here, it looks like it's totally integrated. But if you ever want to keep an eye on geopolitical stuff from the American perspective, at least in terms of when things may be happening, this is it. The Pizza Index. All right, everybody. I'm going to get that. That's another thing to worry about. Gang, we're going to have to cleanse the palate. Because, well, pizza is fun and all. That Apocalypse Pizza is not nearly as fun. But you know what is fun? Just fucking random weird websites that make you go, why the fuck did anybody make this shit? Okay? So what we have here is a little guide to some of the weird websites. And we're going to take a look at some of them. Now, I browsed like 2 of them just to get a little feel for the flavor. And we're going to jam out for a minute and cleanse the palate. Now, this first one, I really like this. This is going to take us to a useless website. Every single time we click this button, it's going to take us to an absolutely useless website. So let's get into it here. Let's see where we're going to go. What the fuck is this? This is the most classic of memory games. Flip the cards and find the pairs. Accuracy is rewarded. What page is this? Where are we? I mean, this is useless, but Are they switching things up on me? No, they're not. I'm just a dummy. That is useless. Memory level potato. I want a different one. Paint. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Long Doge challenge. Am I just going to scroll this? Oh, I'm just going to scroll this forever. I do need an ad blocker, 100%. Wow, that's okay. That is useless. All right. Weird or confusing. Chicken nugget keychain. Chicken nugget keychain? Yo. That's... What, did they just cast that in fucking polyurethane or something? Polyvinyl chloride. Tortilla blanket. Farting animal coloring book. What the fuck, man? Instant underprint. No, this is just tchotchke shit. No, fuck the useless websites. They're right. It's useless. Now, I like this one. This is the second one I saw. All right. Anytime I move my cursor, we're going to get an image of someone pointing at where that cursor is at. I can't tell you how satisfying this is. Put it all the way over here. Oh, I couldn't stump him. I got to try to stump him. Oh, party. What about right in the center? Oh, that's... You can't trick him. Ah! I hope these people, they... Oh, he's got the I Heart Lesbian shirt on. Wait a minute. Oh, man. What, can I find that exact location again? No, god damn it. That picture was so funny. Holy shit, there's so many pictures, like, per pixel. Is this... Oh, I found it! Yep. Here, there's a guy's belly right over there. I can't even point to it. I can't even point to it. Yeah, there's like... This is like per pixel or something like that. It's crazy. Nah, these websites suck. This is not as good as I thought it was going to be. Fuck those weird websites. We need a palette cleanser from that palette cleanser. Those websites were basically like shit fucking cheap games. Let's look at a billionaire cry about his life. Let's talk about how negativity around AI has done a lot of damage, and Jensen Huang really is he's gonna have a little cry about it. So, look, we talk all about AI on here. Rate my Ajax. RateMyPoop.com, 100%. I remember that. That's a Web 1. That's a Web 1 banger right there. Rate my poop. Holy shit. Jensen Huang says relentless negativity around AI is hurting society and has, quote, done a lot of damage. What a crazy fucking thing to say. Negativity around AI is hurting society and has done a lot of damage to who? Yeah, AI's done a lot of damage to us. AI is fucking us up left and right. It is not doing the good that people have been spouting that it was going to do. So Jensen Huang is from ChatGPT, and he's a hot little potato right now, as it reads here from TechSpot. Ever since ChatGPT was released to the masses, there's been a lot of negativity around generative AI. From the number of jobs it's set to make obsolete to more extreme concerns like an apocalyptic event, NVIDIA's Jensen Huang isn't happy about it, claiming that this doomer narrative is not helpful to society. NVIDIA, the company that arms the military with their AI capabilities, gives them the technological hardware needed for that shit. Holy shit. Elon Musk's Elden Ring build is still worse than AI, though. True. Some things are at the bottom of the barrel, you know? and they maintain their mighty spot of fucking failure. Oh, somebody was talking about the other day. They wanted to see Elon Musk and Mr. Beast have a competition to see who could talk about the hobbies they pretend to be interested in for the longest. Now that sounds like torture. Please God, let that never fucking happen. Oh, NVIDIA is supplying Palantir now too. Yep, Ajax. This is exactly why it's like, oh, relentless negativity around AI is hurting society and has done a lot of damage. Really? Not AI-powered surveillance and weapons and all that sort of shit? You cannot trick me on that. Get out of here. All right, so he's a hot little potato. Ever since ChatGPT was released to the masses, there's been a lot of negativity. Huang made his feelings about AI skeptics, haters, and doommongers clear on a recent episode of the No Priors podcast. Yeah, no. Cornella, some things are just fucking terrible. The boss of the world's most valuable company said the battle of the narratives between those who think AI will benefit society and those who believe it will degrade or destroy it was one of his biggest takeaways from 2025. Huang did admit that it's too simplistic to dismiss either of these views entirely, but he believes some naysayers' views are having a detrimental effect. Quote, I think we've done a lot of damage with very well-respected people who have painted a doomer narrative, end the world narrative, science fiction narrative, Huang said. Huang, fuck you. And I appreciate that many of us grew up and enjoyed science fiction, but it's not helpful. It's not helpful to people. It's not helpful to the industry. It's not helpful to society. It's not helpful to the governments. I mean, I'm gonna have to disagree because, like, you know, if we looked at some science fiction's classics of the past, you know, it pretty much predicted things like prediction markets and things like that. So, you know, the thought exercise of how wrong could this AI shit go is probably a valuable one to engage in. All right, I think that's maybe something that Huang should engage in himself, right? Thresh, the Quake player who popularized WSAD, claimed that Elon was bad and cheated with server ownership. That is so funny. I mean, nobody wants, like, who wants to see Elon be good at any of those games anyway, too? So it's like, he's instantly going to be called out if he can't back it up. Bubble Blazer says, AI bubble is a myth, says man with mouthful of soap. Yeah, 100%. It's absolutely, like, especially as it is now. Especially the way it is now. It's nowhere close to near ready. Foam alone, that's a banger, Cornella. Excellent. Ajax, the one time I got soap in mouth was playing Donkey Kong Country 2. Got so mad I cursed in front of my mom. Donkey Kong Country 2 is hard as shit. That one is fucking hard. Huang never named names, but he's spoken out against those who've warned about AI's consequences in the past. Last June, soon after Anthropic leader Dario Amodei said that AI could wipe out about half of all entry-level white-collar jobs in the next 5 years, leading to unemployment spikes up to 20%, Huang said he, quote, pretty much disagreed with almost everything, unquote, said his fellow CEO said. Now look, I think that it's... Like, I disagree with the idea that AI could wipe out about half of all entry-level white-collar jobs in the next 5 years because, I mean, unless and there could be some major upgrade to the way AI works within 5 years, but, at least the way it is now, you get rid of a couple jobs, replace it with AI, and then you need more jobs to make sure the AI works properly, like, Google is now bringing in AI accuracy professionals because the AI descriptions that you get, the AI synopsis that you get when you search something is not always accurate. And I'm sure we've all Googled something where it said something, and then you even look at the source it's referencing, and you go, yeah, this is not lining up, or this has misinterpreted this, and reinterpreted everything in some sort of way. Yeah, M dashing alert. Oh, Bubble Blazer. I watched a great video the other day on how to spot like language, AI generated language. And that's like, obviously with M dashes. I'm in marketing, so I'm familiar with the M dash because I've had some graphic designers who are into the M dash. Like they knew that sort of shit at first, They were in on the M dash shit. But now the robos are all taking their M dash game. Huang appeared to reference emoji again during the No Priors podcast. He said no company should ask governments for more AI regulation. Fuck you, Huang. AI should be regulated as fuck. Okay? You cannot let these motherfuckers just do whatever the fuck they want. They will drain, because again, AI requires the drinking water, the purified water that we use to actually work. So it's really not good. Don't let any of the water naysayers, AI naysayers, get anything on that, because it's not true. It's been proven that it's environmentally devastating. So, quote, this is from Huang. Huang said, their intentions are clearly deeply conflicted, and their intentions are clearly not completely in the best interest of society, he said. I mean, they're obviously CEOs, they're obviously companies, and obviously they're advocating for themselves. What the fuck? How can you say you're not completely in the best interest of society? Which, yeah, they're not completely in the best interest of society, of course. But I mean, AI regulation would definitely benefit society. And Trump's on a big AI deregulation kick, okay? I believe that ballroom, it's still, all the specs to that ballroom line up with AI data centers built in Israel, square footage, budget-wise, as we've talked about before. It all makes sense. The surveillance state that we're entering, ICE is using more AI technology. It's all supplied by Oracle and Palantir, right? These businesses are in bed with the government already. And all the donors to the, or at least the public ones to that ballroom, are all tech companies. There's no anything else, just tech companies. All very suspect. And again, NVIDIA NVIDIA creates hardware that is used for AI in the military. So, yeah, Jerry, we're living in the dumbest and darkest timeline ever. Absolutely. You're not wrong about that. So for Huang to say that somebody's not talking in the best interest of society is rich. Thick and rich. You could drizzle that over your flapjacks, all right? So in May of 2025, Huang and Amodier clashed over the AI diffusion rules that restrict the export of advanced AI technologies to countries such as China. Anthropic has argued for tighter controls and enforcement, and highlighted some of the unusual cases of people smuggling chips into the Asian nation. NVIDIA hit back, stating its chips have never been smuggled into China via the likes of fake pregnant bellies or alongside live lobsters, despite Chinese customs documenting these cases. Hold on. We might have to read that link after. Chips smuggled into China through fake pregnant bellies? or alongside live lobsters? Wait a minute. Do you guys remember a week or two ago we covered this story about a bunch of those Costco lobsters? What's up? Lily, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. We're talking about an AI CEO who is complaining that the backlash against AI is hurting society. He's being a total knob about it. But, you know, the thing about... So apparently, NVIDIA chips have been smuggled into China via the likes of fake pregnant bellies or alongside live lobsters. NVIDIA denies it, but China has stated that's happened. Chinese customs. Now, just recently, we covered this a couple weeks ago, there was like 500,000 or 40,000, something like that. I can't remember the exact number, in lobsters stolen. A truck of lobsters just stolen en route to Costco. Can the fake smugglers eat the lobsters afterwards? I sure hope they can. Because you steal that much lobster, I mean, you got to either eat it. You can't eat a truck of lobsters. Okay? Don't pretend you can. I know you can't. But you either got to eat it or you got to sell. You got to know someone who's going to buy your dirty lobsters. Now, if those lobsters are actually NVIDIA chips, well, you could sell that a lot easier than lobsters. I don't know. This is just crazy. Anyway, Huang also claimed that the amount of negativity surrounding AI could make some skeptics' worst fears a reality. So, motherfucker. Huang is saying that the negativity around AI is going to make our worst fears a reality. Kermit, you're up for the lobster challenge? Kermit, are you up for the lobster truck challenge? All right, pull in the lobster truck. Kermit's gonna butter down these lobsters. You've got 24 hours to eat this truck of lobsters. So, anyway, lobsters aside, Huang saying that negativity surrounding AI could make some skeptics' worst fear a reality is actually not going to make their worst fears a reality. Like, if you're like, I hate AI, I'm worried about it, and he's like, motherfucker, yo, you gotta stop being worried. Chill. Or the fucking T-1000 will strangle you. But you gotta be chill around it, okay? Like, what the fuck, man? Skeptics' worst fears will become a reality because AI is not regulated. When 90% of the messaging is all around the end of the world and the pessimism, I think we're scaring people from making the investments in AI that makes it safer, more functional, more productive, and more useful to society, he said. Oh, we should do that with fucking regulation. You dumb. Stupid CEO, fuck. You're not stupid, you're greedy. I'm sorry. I just looked over at the chat for 1 second. I just see worst diarrhea ever. I love you guys. Cloaca to forehead. Based cloaca to forehead. The cloaca in me acknowledges the cloaca in you. Namas cloaca. Yeah, we're already living in the bad timeline. So, I mean, I guess they're just scooping on some extra bad for funsies. I think this is just extra for funsies bad. You know how they do it. This isn't the first time. This isn't the first case of a rich executive whose company is hugely invested in the AI industry, complaining that people don't love tech as much as they should. What? This is not the first time this has happened? Excuse me? Tech billionaires are fucking babies? Always? Well, I'll be a goddamn monkey's uncle. Wow. This isn't the first case of a rich executive whose company is hugely invested in the AI industry, complaining that people don't love the tech as much as they should. Microsoft's Satya Nadella recently complained that the conversation around AI needs to move beyond slop. There was also... That's hilarious. Guys, stop calling my slop. It's not just slop. Okay? When it's not hallucinating, it can sometimes compile data for you. And it can generate some of the dumbest shit you ever seen visually. Okay? Yeah, Lily, lobsters equal NVIDIA chips sounds like an art imitates life commentary. And at this point, how could you blame anybody for being paranoid about that? At this point, right? I mean, at this point in the timeline, like, I'm like, yeah, NVIDIA chips in the lobsters, anything goes. Lizard, tech moguls care about, shit, that's so true. Confused, Lizard said tech moguls care more about us bullying their robots than bullying actual people on their platforms. 100%. 100%. I mean, they could give less of a fuck about us. They want to replace, they want the parties to be just robots. Whenever I see robots at one of those parties, I'm like, that looks like the lamest shit fucking ever. As a reminder, it's usually a person in a costume anyway, so. The cloaca machine runs off NVIDIA chips, 100%. AI cloacas, an abomination. Keep the cloacas organic. I hate that I said that. I take it back. As a reminder, it's now estimated that more than 20% of YouTube's feed can be defined as slop. Oh, no, wait, sorry. There was also Mustafa Suleyman, CEO of Microsoft's AI group, who called public criticism of AI... who called public criticism of AI mind-blowing in November. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Why don't people like this stuff? Look, I made a picture of myself on a donkey. Why don't people love AI? You can all do donkey pictures. Who needs drinking water? Everybody, make a donkey pic. As a reminder, it's now estimated that more than 20% of YouTube's feed can be defined as slop. And the number of people who lose their jobs due to AI or related technologies keeps growing. It's unlikely that the negativity is going to go away because it hurts a few executive feelings. Yes, executive feelings get fucked. Please. So yeah, this Huang guy is just a big old baby. These CEOs... Mustafa Suleyman hates that you hate AI. Yeah, I mean, we fucking hate all of you guys. I mean, shit, you guys are the weirdest motherfuckers. You're ruining the planet, and we hate you for that. So, yeah, fuck off with your complaining. Or keep belly aching. Go ahead. More CEO tears, please. But let's look at this. NVIDIA denies chip smuggling reports involving fake pregnancies and live lobsters. Yeah, I got to know about this. NVIDIA claws back at Anthropic. So let's see what's going on here. What a goddamn picture. I hope that's... Oh, God. It's probably AI generated. Serving tech enthusiasts... Oh, I'm reading the fucking tech spot thing there. WTF? That's a great way to start. Dubs TF, NVIDIA has denied that its chips have been smuggled into China using bizarre methods, including hiding them in fake pregnant bellies or alongside live lobsters. However, Chinese customs have documented these exact cases, complete with photographic evidence. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Wasn't there an article a few years ago about how the tech people wanted more rights for the robots and people commenting on how we still have racism for real people? Probably. I mean, they want rights for the robots. Of course they do. I mean, like, you know, the corporations get rights, the robots get rights, we get beaten in the streets. I mean, you know, sounds about right. Holy shit. Yeah, did a boomer write this article? It had to have been. WTF. A boomer who just learned WTF wrote this article. Like 1 billion%. Guys, did you know you could say curse words without cursing? Well, I'll be. Anyway. Only fish I'll eat is lionfish? Lionfish is a type of fish? I'd be lying if I ever heard of it. All right. NVIDIA has denied that its chips... Yeah. Okay. So NVIDIA's rant was aimed at AI startup Anthropic, which has been clashing with Team Green over the AI diffusion rules that are set to take effect on May 15th. The rules restrict the export of advanced AI technologies, particularly AI chips, and high-capability models, those trained with over 10 to the 26th I don't know how many tetraflops. A lot of flops, y'all. Okay. Oh, lionfish are D-bugs. Oh yeah. Oh god. Oh shit. The lionfish army. Yo, the lionfish army just arrived in the chat. Yo, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know. I love lionfish. I was just lying the whole time about the fish. I love them. So good. And also, my favorite part about them is their mane, and that they're very sleepy, and that the women primarily do the hunting, and that they destroy most reefs. That's one of my favorite things about them too. I know a lot about them. If anybody says anything about lionfish in the chat, I probably already knew about it. They're invasive and venomous. Yeah. And the whole thing seems fishy. And urchins are bigger threats, though. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And lions. Lionfish. And also, they're underwater. So anyway, they're delicious for burgers as well. Ajax agrees with me. So anyway, NVIDIA wants to keep selling its expensive GPUs to China, while Anthropic, which uses the company's hardware for its operations, wants to keep them in the US to ensure a steady supply and fewer competitors. The Amazon-backed company suggested lowering the export threshold for Tier 2 countries, implementing stricter regulations to minimize smuggling risks, and boosting funding for enforcement efforts. Quote, maintaining America's advantage through export controls is essential for national security and economic prosperity, Anthropic wrote. Now this is the fake pregnant belly, and look at that. Boom. Come on. Them some chips right there. Those are some chips if I ever seen them. I'm no tech expert, but those look like chips to me. The company also cited the arrest of 2 people in 2023 by Hong Kong customs officers who were trying to smuggle 70 high-end computer display cards into the country alongside 617 pounds of lobsters, and the famous incident in which a woman was caught entering China with 202 Intel CPUs wrapped around her torso and concealed underneath a prosthetic pregnant belly. Oh, I've watched a David Attenborough. Oh, I love me a David. My new thing is for some comments, like I do a lot. I always play around sometimes with comments, negative comments, just for funsies. I'll just like do a fun thing. One of my things I like to do, I like to dick them down, which is you just quote the first paragraph of Moby Dick at them. But now another one I'm doing is like a David Attenborough type riff, where I'll point to them and treat them like a David Attenborough exhibit, and we'll talk about them as if they were a freaky wild animal. Yeah, rest in peace to the custom PCs. That was, look, a lot of gaming was gonna get done there. R.I.P. Ajax, they did a fun 3-month dive trip researching urchins. You took urchins from overpopulated areas and moved them to areas overrun with algae. That's cool. I don't know if the chips show up on the scan things. I don't know how good the scan things are. I have no idea. I'm no scan thing expert. So NVIDIA was unsurprisingly less than pleased by Anthropic's criticism. A spokesperson told CNBC that American firms should focus on innovation and rise to the challenge rather than tell tall tales that large, heavy, and sensitive electronics are somehow smuggled in baby bumps or alongside live lobsters. But again, you know, live lobsters and graphics cards, you know, belly and all sorts of chips. So I mean, we got it right there, you know. It's all documented. The company also, it's confusing why the spokesperson would consider the reports to be tall tales, especially as there are photos from these incidents of the smugglers' hauls. Maybe they'd argued that the woman with the pregnant belly was hiding iPhones and Intel CPUs, not NVIDIA chips. But NVIDIA's spokesperson added the policy should not be used to limit competitiveness. They said China has half the world's AI researchers and highly capable experts at every layer of the AI stack. America cannot manipulate regulators to capture victory in AI, the spokesperson said. Anthropic stands by its recently filed public submission in support of strong and balanced expert controls to help secure America's lead in infrastructure development and ensure that the values of freedom and democracy shape the future of AI, the company spokesperson said in a statement. Yeah, fucking right. The democracy and freedom is going to be part of AI? No, it's being used for quite the opposite. We are more closely related to urchins than the octopus. Whoa. I love this marine biology chat going on. I love it. Sometimes y'all just go off on some smart shit in the chat. And I love it. Let me be your clown. I'm here to entertain you smart people. Yeah. Anthropic stands by its recently filed public submission in support of strong and balanced export controls that help secure America's lead in infrastructure development and ensure that the values of freedom and democracy shape the future of AI. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang visited Beijing last month at the invitation of a Chinese trade organization. He confirmed that China was a very important market for NVIDIA and recently shared that when it came to AI, China is not behind anybody. China is right behind us. We are very, very close. He also praised the progress being made by Huawei. So yeah, okay, this is the lobster smuggling. There's just crazy shit going on in the AI world, right, Marimba? Am I right? Am I right? That's right. How about a little doggy visit? Oh, you on the camera there, buddy? Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, there you are. Hey, mister. Up, up. Oh, that's a good doggy. Oh, Marimba. All right. Marimba's going to be that nice palate cleanser there. So that's what's going on in the AI world. It's bullshit as always. Always some fucking billionaire crying about something. And it's got nothing on the AI, like the whole AI boom thing. It's not gonna last. It's just not fucking logistically, it's not making money. But look, not everything is doom and gloom in this world, okay? Some things can bring a smile to our face. Like when, I don't know, a big shipment of butt plugs get sent to the Pentagon. It's topical. It makes sense with what we were talking about before. Look, I'm going to have to go ahead and say that there's a little bit of a butt plug problem going on. And we're going to get to the bottom of it. Pun intended. Stop sending butt plugs to Bahrain. To Bahrain. However you pronounce that, Bahrain. Toronto sex store receives letters from the U.S. Department of War. So, why are they receiving letters here? Well, let's find out. Let's watch the video here. I didn't know there was a video for this. Fun. All right, let's read the story first before they get into it. All right. Stop plugging those puns. My goodness. My goodness. So, not one, but 2 letters were sent from the Pentagon to a Toronto-based sex toy store, found inside the boxes of returned adult items that had somehow made their way to a U.S. naval base in Bahrain. The letters were received over the span of about a month over the summer. Bonji Bon, co-founder Grace Bennett, recalled amusedly. Yes, Bubble, have a good night. We'll smell you on the flip-flop. Quote, we didn't even know it. We didn't even know. I see what they're saying. Quote, we didn't even know the product was going to Bahrain until it came back to us months later. And it just kind of unraveled this whole hilarious moment. The 34-year-old said in an interview with CTV News Toronto. Yeah, somehow. Kermit, you're teasing the kitty with feathers? That sounds delightful. The online sexual wellness store shipped worldwide when they first launched in 2019, but Bennett says they now mostly service Canada, the United States, South America, Europe, and Asia due to various laws and regulations about what items can be imported to countries, including Bahrain. Bonjibon also frequently ships to military bases, and Bennett says she suspects the packages were likely forwarded to someone stationed in Bahrain, since her company does not ship there directly. So the mystery thickens. These are the founders of Bonjibon here. This past year has posed a particular challenge for Bennett's business, thanks to the tariffs U.S. President Donald Trump imposed and the de minimis, I don't know how to pronounce it, de minimis? De minimis? Is that like a Canadian thing? Exemption being scrapped. The de minimis exemption being scrapped. So because of all that, Bennett says items were being held at the border or returned to Bonjibon's warehouse on a near daily basis. On one of the days that they were combing through various parcels, Bennett's warehouse manager noticed one of the boxes had obviously been opened, with the sanitary seals broken. The contents placed back haphazardly inside. Oh God. Placed haphazardly inside. That's concerning. And covered in goo. Placed haphazardly inside, and a letter containing the U.S. Department of Defense seal in the upper left corner. The U.S. Department of Defense has since been renamed to the U.S. Department of War by Trump after the commander-in-chief opined the former name was woke. The Pentagon should give them medals for their service. Oh, yes. Lily says the Pentagon should give them medals for their services and morality to the soldiers. Hell yeah. Yeah, the sanitary seal was broken, Kermit, creating an unsanitary situation. The letter was signed by the U.S. Naval Forces Central Command Fleet Logistics Center in Bahrain, an island neighboring Qatar and Saudi Arabia on the Persian Gulf. Quote, during security screening by Bahrain Customs, pornographic materials or devices were identified in a package addressed to you. This letter is to notify you that your parcel was returned to the sender. The letter, with the subject line adult item identified during X-ray mail screening, reads in part, quote, please notify the sender that pornographic materials or devices are not allowed into the Kingdom of Bahrain. Go woke, butt plug. We got a huge kick out of it, Bennett said. I mean, we don't judge. We want everyone to order whatever they want, and we want everyone to feel confident and start shopping for whatever they want. But there's a juxtaposition of a military person in a foreign country ordering butt plugs and having no understanding that those items are illegal in the country that they're in. That is so true. Holy shit. What a great point. It is just funny that somebody ordered butt plugs and did not realize that they're in an area where you can't get butt plugs. And if they see butt plugs in the scanner, they're going to send those butt plugs back. Yeah, somebody in customs was having a field day, for sure. The Pentagon declined to comment on CTV News Toronto's repeated request, saying they, quote, don't have anything to offer on the topic. Bennett questioned whether or not the American soldiers stationed in Bahrain have been directly notified on what they are allowed to order to the country. Quote, I don't know why they're sending me very cross letters saying stop sending items that could cause bodily harm to this country, Bennett said. Quote, this sounds like a you problem. The call was coming from inside the house. That is so funny. As per the U.S. Transportation Command's instructions regarding prohibited items to Bahrain, however, pornographic material, including sex toys, handcuffs, and nudity magazines, are in, quote, strict violation of Bahrain law. CTV Toronto contacted the Kingdom of Bahrain's Ministry of Interior Customers Affairs for comment, but did not receive response. Bennett says the customs, Bennett says the customers are aware of the situation and have been reimbursed for the products they paid for. There's many layers of hilarity to this that we can all just poke fun at, and the situation is quite funny, while at the same time, I genuinely want everyone. I'm sad they didn't get their order, Bennett said with a laugh. Bennett is just good for them. They're just trying to get butt plugs out to the people. They literally they don't care about anything other than making sure these butt plugs go out to the customers. To memorialize what happened, Bennett says the two letters have been framed in their respective offices in Toronto and BC, both mounted in iridescent bedazzled frames. That's fucking awesome. Like, holy shit. They say they sent them back, but there is no proof of that. You're right. You're right. They should have ordered the beads instead. Yeah, the beads are a lot easier to manage, I feel like. You can get away with not a butt plug has a look to it. Great customer service and satisfaction. Ajax, they might need a glass blower. Incredible. Wow. That was a good palate cleanser right there. You know, palate cleansers are always hit or miss in this day and age. Sometimes I think that a palate cleanser is going to be really good, and then I let it cleanse the palate, and it ends up revealing something else terrible about the world. But this one, pure goodness. We love that. Now, it's time to transition into not full goodness, okay? And, well, let's go into this. Because this is quite indicative of the, pulling this up here real quick. Give me 1 second here, guys. Sorry about that. Oh, shit. Actually, wait. Before we get into the serious stuff, there's one more. I want to do one more silly story. This one is too good to pass up. Let's cleanse the palate with a... Let's palate cleanse the palate cleanser. Bad dragon. All you need to say in there. Bad dragon. Look, okay. Here's what I want to do. We got one more silly. Here, gang. Now, this has been the past year or two, I feel like has been very good at revealing how easy it is to get caught having an affair. You think you're going out into an area, you think you're being discreet, but you're being seen. And your image is going to end up somewhere, right? So it's just something you shouldn't even do in the first place. But now that we live in the age that we live in, it does provide us with some funny stories like this. Like this particular man. Oh, man, hold on. Before I even pull this up. Boom. There we go. Okay. Like this particular man who now is suing a restaurant because a promotional TikTok exposed his secret affair. Yes, it's true. So let's see what this fella's story is. So just like that CEO, I can't even remember the guy's name now, but like you think you're being discreet, you're gonna be a story. You can be a national story, okay? I felt the story about gay wool from gay sheeps raised by a gay farmer being used for a gay fashion show and collab with Grindr. That's amazing. Holy moly. Yes, Lily, this is a great case of karma. 100%. Best word that could be described here. Karma. So an Italian... Oh, it's an Italian man, too. Oh, get out of here. What? I do need an ad blocker. I'm sorry, gang. Let's get that out of there. I have that on the screen. Okay. So this is, of course, is an Italian man. Why the fuck is Beast? What the fuck is Beast doing here? Yeah, I gotta get an ad blocker. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna get one. Anyway, all that being said, yeah, the Coldplay affair couple. Thank you. An Italian man is taking legal action against a restaurant after a TikTok video unexpectedly revealed his alleged extramarital affair and helped end his marriage. So, I will say, I don't know if you can blame the restaurant for helping to end your marriage, right? I mean, if you were doing this, your marriage was over. The 42-year-old Catania has filed a lawsuit claiming his privacy was violated when the eatery posted footage of him dining with another woman as part of a social media promotion. I don't think you can sue for that. What? Oh, Ajax, send me that in Disc. Can you send me a link in Discord? So, according to local reports, the man told his wife he would be out for a routine business dinner. Instead, he spent the evening at the restaurant on a date with a secret lover. I just don't think you can blame the restaurant for this. I know you're salty. I know you're upset that your marriage just got ruined, but like that was you. That was a you thing. That's the restaurant did not do that. Now that encounter was captured on camera by staff creating marketing content for the venue, and the clip was later uploaded to TikTok without the customer's knowledge or consent. Do you need consent to be filmed in a private place though? I mean, I don't know. Interesting. The man's wife saw the viral video soon after it went live, and she quickly announced she planned to leave him, ending their marriage and reportedly kicked him out of the house. Kermit, restaurant, salty. I didn't even realize what I did there. Terrible. Now the restaurant has been sued after the TikTok video exposed the affair. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Ajax. I appreciate it. Yeah, just so I don't forget. Oh, Kermit, it depends on the state if you can be filmed. Well, let's find out. Well, this is in Italy. Okay, this is straight up in Italy. So, I mean, we're talking about international pizza crime. International pizza injustice. The encounter was captured on camera by staff creating marketing content for the venue and was uploaded to TikTok. The man's wife saw the viral video, and after it went live, she quickly announced that she planned to leave him, ending their marriage and reportedly kicking him out of the house. Now, Italian consumer rights group Codicons says it's seeking damages on his behalf. Francesco Tanasi, a representative for the organization, argued that the restaurant acted unlawfully by filming patrons and sharing the material online. Yeah, I do. Yeah, Lily, I understand the whole consent for filming, especially for an ad, but he should not have been having an affair. Yeah, it's a tough one because the guy was having an affair, and nobody's gonna like that. In certain cases, the publication of a video can have very serious effects on a person's private life and family ties, Tanasi said. He went on to warn that restaurants must obtain explicit permission before using customers in any kind of promotional material. Quote, "Is inadmissible that a restaurant films its customers without clear consent and posts the video exposing the person to unpredictable consequences," Tanasi said. Codicons had also threatened to escalate the case to Italy's national privacy watchdog. The group claims the man never agreed to appear on camera and had no idea he was being recorded. Yeah, so I mean, I think also, like, the thing about this, it's in Italy where they really they take their dinner seriously. So you might actually get sued. It might not even be the law is that you infringed on his privacy by filming him. The law may be some sort of Italian thing where you are penalized for interrupting somebody's dinner. It may be because it's like sacred. Kermit, yeah, I do kind of agree. Customer does not mean consent for monetary gain, at least. Yeah. I think it's only, like in some places, like a concert venue or something like that. A lot of times the tickets, will automatically, like, you, if you bought a ticket, you automatically agreed to, like, be filmed or whatever in the venue. So some places have things like that, I think. But I don't know what the regulation, especially in Italy, like, this seems like a violation of meatball privacy. I don't know. Lily says, I know Germany has strict laws about filming in public. That's why in some dance covers videos, they use a green screen so that they don't show the public or faces. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, in America, we really don't have anything for filming in public. You can get filmed if you're in public, So if the complaint is upheld, the restaurant could face additional penalties under Italian data protection laws. And this isn't the first affair uncovered by TikTok, as the platform has developed a reputation as an accidental detective agency for relationships. Most notably, last year, then Astronomer CEO Andy Byron made headlines after getting caught holding on to a woman who wasn't his wife at a Coldplay concert. Weeks later, Byron and his wife filed for divorce. Right? So there, in that case, like... Yeah. If it's a big ass event or a concert convention, it's unavoidable to be filmed. Yeah, so like that Coldplay one, right? I'm sure when you bought tickets to go there, you already agreed to be filmed. They're putting your face on the jumbotron and all that. And yeah, I mean, how could you even find who filmed something? And that would be like crazy. That would be tough. But yeah, that's. Oh, in 2024, two women went viral after discovering they had been dating the same man. They ended their romances when TikTok posts exposed the overlap. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, so yeah, that's that's the old TikTok. TikTok is like the show Cheaters now. Cheaters, if you ever saw that show from back in the day. TikTok has essentially become that. So yeah, that's that, guys. Now the last thing I want to go over with you all tonight is Legal Eagle put out a great video about the Renee Good shooting. Okay, so I want to watch that with you guys, and they're going to talk about the legality, everything from A to B. It's really, really good. But it will be about Renee Good. So if that's not your jam or that's a little depressing for you, I don't blame you. The coverage is obviously insane. So, but we will be looking at that now. So yeah, this will be good. Like it's a great video. The legal one is really good. The video, the video of the shooting, you can't actually see anything. So, but it's still like haunting and everything. So, I just want to give you guys time if you don't want to see it, avert your eyes. Or feel free to hop out. But yeah, Mr. Eagle is cool, Ajax. Yeah, that's generally pretty good stuff. So let's eagle it up, y'all. Oh, let me resize this because now we don't have to worry about ads from the Navy. Alrighty. All right, gang. Let's get into it. All right, so yeah, oh my God. Sorry, you said Ace Attorney, so I got hyped up. We'll go not Ace Attorney for this one, but we might have to play that on stream one day because I do love Ace Attorney. That is my shit. All right. Here we go, gang. Legal. Objection! Cloiction. Oh, you guys.
January 7th, ICE agent Jonathan Ross shot and killed a motorist during an immigration-related operation in Minneapolis. The victim, 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, a U.S. citizen and mother of 3, became involved or sought to legally observe the proceedings after dropping off her 6-year-old son at school that morning. She was shot in the head in the front seat of her car. The incident took place shortly after the Trump administration escalated immigration enforcement operations in Minnesota by deploying thousands of agents in the state. Diametrically opposed narratives have emerged over what led to the shooting, with the administration uniformly defending the agent's deadly use of force and seemingly everyone else saying he was 100% guilty of murder. Not surprisingly, it depends. But just hours after the shooting, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security issued a statement blaming Miss Good for the confrontation and characterizing the fatal shooting as an act of lawful self-defense. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem told reporters that
when a mob of agitators that were harassing them all day began blocking them in.
Yeah, so Renee Good was a mother of 3. Yep, unfortunately. And yeah, I mean, you're also gonna see like a bunch of stuff out in the world. Like at least from what I've seen, you're gonna see a bunch of people talking about this and calling her like a bad mother or whatever, you know, and whatever the situation is with her home life, which I don't think many people have a clear picture of. I don't think any of us really know. You don't get shot in the head. You don't get to be shot in the head just because you're a bad person. You don't get, like, come on. This is murder. 1,000%. And when we look at Legal Eagle's going to break down the video footage in a very, very good way. Really makes it clear. But, I mean, you know, we know this with our eyes. We can see it, but yeah, Renee Good was a mother of 3. And you know, I've been following the Minnesota Reddit, which is insane right now. And like, I only recommend going on there if you're like, okay with seeing ICE footage and stuff like that. Cause they're breaking into houses now. They're breaking down doors and the footage is terrifying. And yeah, I always like, I feel for the kids that are going to be traumatized by this. Like, it's just going to have a huge impact. It's insane. All right, so let's keep going. Yeah, Renee Good was a mother of 3.
Shouting at them and impeding law enforcement operations. Now,
so like, as you heard Kristi Noem just said, she's shouting, yelling. She wasn't doing any of this, you know, any of this stuff. And even if she was, you don't get shot in the head.
ICE officers and agents approached the vehicle. She then proceeded to weaponize her vehicle, and she attempted to run a law enforcement officer over. This appears as an attempt to kill or to cause bodily harm to agents, an act of domestic terrorism.
So the other thing I wanted to say about Kristi Noem reading that, like, you can kind of hear in her voice, you know, sticking to the script is kind of a necessity on this one, obviously, and relatively difficult to do, because naturally you just want to, you know, you want to say what happened, right? But they can't do that. They have to physically resist saying what is logical to say, what is natural to say, right?
President Trump echoed these conclusions, insisting Ms. Good, quote, viciously ran over the ICE officer, justifying the fatal confrontation. And as Vice President Vance has so eloquently put it, but videos posted online and witness accounts appear to contradict the official narrative. The reason this woman is dead is because she tried to ram somebody with her car. As we'll talk about in some depth, analyzed from multiple angles, the video footage seems to show Ms. Good's car attempts to back away from officers surrounding her car and trying to force entry, and then lurch forward in an ill-fated attempt to escape confrontation. Mayor Frey has aggressively pushed back on DHS's version of events.
To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis.
And now, as the country reels in the aftermath of this shooting, Minnesota...
Yeah, and there's some people who are upset that the guy cursed. Yo, it's very interesting how quickly people on the side of like free speech and you know, it's not about feelings, it's about fact, all that shit, they get very, very prim and proper when they hear somebody drop an F-bomb, right? And all of a sudden these people are radical. Now, the latest thing that's been going around is like, the claim that I don't know if you've seen this on Fox News, but yeah, viciously tried to avoid getting murdered, Ajax, 100%. Now, I don't know if you've seen this on Fox News, but the new thing that they're trying to spin is like armies of deranged wine moms are attacking. Minnesota is a blue state. Minneapolis is the city. Minnesota is a blue state. Yes. Minnesota is a blue state. But in general, like if you look at the thing I find so interesting is a lot of conservatives across the country are like applauding Trump and saying this is great. They got Tim Walz not to run for re-election, all that stuff. Now, if you go on r/Minnesota or, to see what people there actually think, everyone fucking hates what's going on right now. There's not a single person, and now obviously this is just a subreddit. It's not reflective of the entire state or the entire community. Everybody hates it. And, Minnesota is very upset to be seeing Tim Walz go because apparently he's done a very good job. And they like him. They like him a lot. So they're upset to see him go, and they're really upset that this is happening. But of course, that doesn't matter to people who just want a win, right? And this is what's so disgusting is that it's just like some people see this as just like a game or whatever that you win or lose. Disgusting. Like, yeah, she was non-political mom just driving and she got murdered. 100%. The other thing about Tim Walz not running for re-election, everybody's like, oh, it's the fraud. They got him with the fraud. And, I'm not like, I'm not a fan of institutional Democrats or anything like that. But what I can certainly understand from his leaving and from what I've heard from an interview with his daughter is that one of the reasons he left was because like his kids was getting death threats, and as a father, I would understand that. And I don't think any like conservative would give him the time of day to be understanding of that without being like, he got exposed. Trump just got him, Tim Walz played Crazy Taxi. That's fucking awesome. That would be a good stream game. I love Crazy Taxi. I used to rip that shit on the Dreamcast. Kermit, was he aiming for the dog too? Their dog was still in the car the whole time. Yeah, I don't know. The other thing, he fired 3 shots. I think he fired 3 shots. Okay. So like, I don't know if he was aiming for, I don't know what he was doing. His gun shouldn't have been out. He almost shot his fellow agent. Oh my God. Yeah, Kermit, the guy's reeling back in fear. Like, duh. Like, yeah, the gun's going on. Like, holy shit, man. Like, I can't believe. Dude is also wielding the gun. He's got the phone in one hand, the gun in another. Like, that's nuts.
So investigators say that they have to withdraw a probe into the deadly use of force after being denied access to evidence by the FBI. Now, in a non-dystopian universe, the Justice Department would launch a comprehensive, non-biased investigation into the matter and, depending on the outcome, bring federal charges against the ICE agent who killed Miss Good. But right now, it's safe to assume the Trump-controlled DOJ will take no such legal action. Which raises the question, is Mr. Ross guilty of any crimes, and is there any feasible recourse to hold the agent liable for the death of Miss Good? Now, the fatal incident took...
Yeah, motherfucker's guilty of crimes. I mean, I'm no lawyer, but I'm judging him.
There any feasible recourse to hold the agent liable for the death of Miss Good. Now, the fatal incident took place shortly after 9:30 a.m. on Wednesday in a residential neighborhood south of downtown Minneapolis, about a mile from where police killed George Floyd in 2020. A frame-by-frame analysis of bystander video footage raises serious questions about the administration's narrative that Agent Ross was forced to fire defensive shots to protect the life of himself and others. Video taken by a witness shows Miss Good's vehicle, a burgundy Honda Pilot SUV, stopped in the middle of a one-way road, its engine idling. And we're now starting to see more videos from the moments leading up to the shooting. It appears that the SUV was initially parked on the side of the road and was only in the middle of the road for a relatively short amount of time before the incident began. The video taken from Mr. Ross's own cell phone shows him filming the vehicle trying to apparently record the license plate of the SUV. Good's wife, Becca, was also using her phone to film him. She says,
Like, why is he filming also? Like, why is he filming on a cell phone camera? Like, why would you not have a body cam if you need to film anything? You know, it just doesn't make sense.
That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later.
And eventually Good herself says, "It's okay, dude, I'm not mad at you."
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
And those were apparently her last words. Although bystanders were yelling at the federal agents and blowing whistles, it does not appear that Miss Good was engaged in that behavior.
Go home to Texas!
You can see...
Yeah, yeah, oh, he was a J6 auditor freak? Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, so, yeah. Cornella, get out of here. Thank you so much for joining us. But yeah, he's, oh, to get the faces and tags? But, like, why do they not even have body cams, right? Like, you think, like, they're all, shit, they're all tacked out, like, holy shit. I just don't understand. But, it's so confusing. So confusing to me.
Federal vehicles start to approach Miss Good's SUV with lights flashing and sirens blaring. Agent Ross can be seen approaching from behind the SUV and crossing the SUV's right-hand side, all while filming the scene on his cell phone. In the crucial moments before the shooting, Miss Good rolls her SUV slightly forward into the street, then stops and waves at other motorists to go ahead of her. Two agents are seen exiting his silver pickup and approaching the SUV, telling Good to... The SUV backs up, then veers...
Yeah, like, when do you get to just do this? Like, charge at someone's car and, like, try to open the door. I don't think you could do that. I mean, beyond the fact that ICE doesn't have jurisdiction. I think it's like 100 miles outside the border or something like that. They really can't do much. I mean, besides the fact that they're federally backed right now.
Pickup and approaching the SUV, telling Good to... The SUV backs up, then veers forward to the right. Seconds later, gunfire erupts. Re-examining the scene from a closer vantage point, we see Agent Ross walk around the car while filming on his cell phone, disappearing from view. Other agents pull up and order the driver to get out of the car. But it's not clear who exactly those agents were or whether the driver could hear them. But it's clear one of the agents grabs the car's door handle and reaches inside, but is unsuccessful in forcing the door open.
Yeah, he's like reaching inside the car and shit and everything too. Like, what the fuck, man? You're not allowed to do that. Like, and what happened to all the fucking, like, gun nuts and all the conservative, like, you know, aren't they supposed to be, isn't there, like, the NRA, aren't they all like, well, what about when the government gets tyrannical? What about the government uprising? We're gonna have to fight against them. Does the shooter think he's an influencer with that phone? That's funny, though. Like, but, like, where are all the people that are like, yeah, you got to form a militia when the government's like coming after you, whatever? Like, all these people that believe this shit or think that they're like, you know, getting a gun so that when the government comes for them, they could, they're all bowing down and licking the boot hard as shit right now. Like, I can't believe it.
Almost simultaneously, you can see the SUV backing up and turning right in an apparent attempt to leave using a two-point turn. At the same time, Agent Ross crosses towards the left side of the vehicle and grabs his gun with his right hand. To me, it looks like he unholsters his weapon before the car is moving forward. He opens fire on Miss Good and continues shooting as she drives past him. At no point does Agent Ross appear to drop the cell phone carried in his left hand, and that's bolstered by the footage he took on that cell phone continuously during the shooting, which we'll talk about in a second. Looking more closely at the moment Agent Ross fires, he appears to be standing to camera left of the SUV while the SUV's tires are pointed all the way to the right away from him. And things are happening fast, and it's not clear if Mr. Ross is in front of or partially in front of the car at the time that the first shot is fired, but it does appear clear that by the time the second and possibly third shots are fired, he is fully to the side of the vehicle.
Yeah, so that's the other thing too. There's 3 shots, and like they're gonna have to account for every single one of those. Oh, yeah, no. There's no dragging. Yeah. Oh, no, yeah, the previous one, Kermit, yeah, when he did get dragged, yeah. He was holding onto the hood of a car. Yeah, she's obviously just leaving the area.
Reports are that the second and third shots were fired through the open driver's side window. It's unknown at this time which of the shots made contact or were fatal.
Now, also for anybody saying he got hit, man doesn't fall. I don't even see his feet really shuffle.
This contradicts the administration's allegations that Miss Good was running him over or attempting to run over Mr. Ross when he fired at her. Although other grainier video footage filmed from a different angle could appear to support this conclusion, but when this footage is synchronized with the closer footage, it's clear that Agent Ross was not run over by the SUV and in fact emerged unscathed.
Yeah, like he might have been pushed a little bit, but like you don't shoot somebody in the head for that. And it's clear that they weren't trying to kill him. They were clearly trying to turn away and get out of there. Like, people are so dumb about this shit.
After being shot in the head, Miss Good's SUV then veers into a white car parked further down the road before crashing to a stop. The agents witnessing the scene do not appear to rush to provide emergency medical care to Miss Good. Eventually, Agent Ross approaches the vehicles and instructs his colleagues to call 911. Other agents can be seen blocking several bystanders who attempt to provide medical care, including one who identifies himself as a physician.
I go check a pulse.
No! Back up! Now!
I'm a physician.
I don't care.
Going back to the footage that Mr. Ross took himself, there's a
Yeah, Kermit, 100%. He was angered. It had nothing to do with defensiveness. Like, he probably didn't like that a woman was talking to him the way that he didn't like. He probably doesn't like hearing anybody talk to him that way. But to hear, like, a woman, two women who are in a relationship telling him that they don't care that he's mad at them. They're not affected. She's smiling. Dude's fucking disgusting. Yeah, they blocked medical care 100%. 100%. Yeah, the blocking of the physician is foul. And just the casual way they shoot her, the car goes veering off. Like, how could you even argue that this is safety? Anything about this is safe? Anybody who's buying into the narrative that this was anything besides an unjustified murder has a boot so far up their fucking mouth, I can't believe I can even hear them spewing their gross opinions.
There's a couple of things that we can glean from this. Number one is that Miss Good appears very calm as a driver, arguably snarky.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
Which might have been her undoing. There seem to be conflicting orders. Some people are yelling, get out. Some are yelling, get out of the car. You can also see clearly from Mr. Ross's vantage point that Miss Good is looking all the way away from him as she backs up and also turns the wheel all the way to the right. In other words, turning to get out of that situation and not towards any of the agents. You can also tell from the footage that the engine is revving at this time, indicating that the car is going to speed up. But at the same time, this is all taking place at a very low rate of speed, close to zero, as she's doing what is obviously a 2-point turn. At the same time that another agent appears to be lunging into the driver's side door in an effort to apparently turn the wheel to the left towards the agents. You can also see Ross switches his phone from his right hand to his left that frees up his right hand to pull out his firearm.
Now, I can't tell if he's trying to pull that wheel, whatever's going on. See, the thing is, and with all of these dudes being so untrained, they're all going to do their individual untrained bullshit. Like, this guy's going to reach in and grab a wheel. Like, none of them are working together in a way or anything like that. Not that any of them should be even fucking working. But you can't even get the justification of, like, we work together as a unit, anything like that. Like, fucking nuts. They're working as individual dumbasses.
But it's also clear that he never drops the phone and continues recording in his left hand while simultaneously taking his firearm out with his right hand and shoots at least twice. It also seems pretty clear that the reason he was arguably in front of the car was for video recording purposes and that at any time he could have gotten out of the way. And I will opine at this time that holding your cell phone in one hand while firing with the other seems pretty reckless, if not depraved indifference to the human life.
Oh, that's a great point. 100%. Like, you got your phone out with your firearm drawn? Aren't you supposed to have two hands on that shit? The fuck?
You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Oh!
Man,
given the
I feel like, man, that's crazy footage to live with as the surviving wife. Like, oh my God.
Trump administration's refusal.
Yeah, worst. This might be the worst cop video that's ever been out there. I mean, like, literally just the worst. The worst, beyond just the crime being the worst, just the worst demonstration of not knowing how to do your job.
Refusal to participate in the investigation, and the fact that this video comes seemingly directly from Mr. Ross's cell phone, it's extremely likely this video was leaked by either Mr. Ross himself or someone in the chain of custody at the Department of Homeland Security, probably because they think that this video is exculpatory, which seems likely given that it was leaked to a right-wing news source.
Which is crazy because the video doesn't even seem exculpatory. Like, yeah, why not have the body cam? I don't know. I literally have no idea. But that video itself doesn't even seem exculpatory. Like, there's no way you can watch that video and be like, oh, it's definitive now. Like, even if you think that video makes it look like something, there's nothing definitive in there. There's nothing definitive. And I think it just makes it seem like the only thing that might have happened is he got a little bumped. I mean, she wasn't even going fast. I wouldn't even call it bumped. Like, his body, like... It's so dumb.
And as is the case in many instances, evidence can and often does support two diametrically opposed arguments at the same time. But from all angles, the video footage depicts a hostile, clumsy, and unnecessarily violent operation. The Minnesota officials have stated their intent to hold unlawful actors in the shooting incident criminally accountable. And to bring charges against a peace officer for the use of deadly force, the state must be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the officer's use of deadly force was not justified.
Yeah, Ajax, you're right. We know why they don't have the body cam. You're right. They don't want footage of. I mean, they have their cameramen. They have their soldiers, their little Nazi cameramen. Same, like, that's just to make propaganda. That's literally what the Nazis did.
Section 609.066 of the Minnesota Code governs the authorized use of deadly force by peace officers. Now, assuming for purposes of this analysis that the offending ICE agent would be deemed a peace officer, which is not 100% certain, there's not a lot of case law on this, there is a possibility that a Minnesota jury could convict the ICE agent under the present circumstances. How likely that would be remains to be seen. Now, Minnesota's applicable statute permits the use of deadly force when, quote, an objectively reasonable officer would believe, based on the totality of the circumstances known to the officer at the time, and without the benefit of hindsight, that such force is necessary to protect the peace officer or another from death or great bodily harm, provided that the threat can be articulated with specificity, is reasonably likely to occur absent action by the law enforcement officer, and must be addressed through the use of deadly force without unreasonable delay.
See, like, you cannot say that the threat can be articulated with specificity, because the threat, you could say, okay, the threat is me being hit by the car. Okay, how fast was the car going? 2 miles per hour. Well, that's incredibly non-lethal, and I mean, maybe that'll push you. You could easily dodge a car going at that speed, you know?
By the
So, like, I don't even think the specificity would be there. You know, I know there's going to be all sorts of ways they try to get out of this, but, and considering they have the federal support of Trump and everything, like, they'll just pardon the guy or whatever.
Law enforcement officer, and must be addressed through the use of deadly force without unreasonable delay. Now, the statute also permits the use of deadly force to, quote, affect the arrest or capture or prevent the escape of a person whom the peace officer knows or has reasonable grounds to believe has committed or attempted to commit a felony, and the officer reasonably believes that person will cause the death or great bodily harm to another person unless immediately apprehended.
Now, that's going to be something that a lot of people jump on, like a lot of people who are against Renee Good, are going to jump on right there, because they're going to be like, well, they're going to say that they committed a felony by assaulting a federal officer, right? Or anything like that. And they're going to say, oh, the officer believed that the person will cause death or great bodily harm. They make up all sorts of shit.
As stated by the city attorney's office of Hennepin County, where the incident took place, this statute provides a, quote, significant defense to criminal charges brought against an officer accused of the use of deadly force. And under this defendant-friendly statute, it would be difficult, but not necessarily impossible, to prosecute Agent Ross for the unlawful use of deadly force. Turning back to the footage, Agent Ross might have a viable argument in his favor based on his first shot into Miss Good's SUV. At the time of the first shot, Agent Ross appears to be positioned maybe slightly in front of the SUV, which would be consistent with the corresponding bullet hole appearing in the front of the windshield in later footage.
So that first shot is going to be something that maybe makes it tough because, yeah, Lily, there was a viral video last year about a guy throwing a sandwich against an ICE agent, and that guy was set free. The charges were dropped, and his silhouette of him throwing a sandwich has become, it's become like a symbol. Everyone's kind of rallied behind it. But yeah, so they're gonna say, you know, the first shot, that's the one that they might have their plausible deniability on, even though I think it's bullshit. But you know, that would definitely be the thing they lean on the hardest, is like the car was coming at him, the bullet goes through the front windshield, but then we have two from the side. So that is hopefully gonna throw him off.
It is possible that a jury would believe an objectively reasonable officer would believe the deadly force was necessary to protect him or herself from death or great bodily harm when they're standing in front of, or at least partially in front of, a moving vehicle. The statute itself says that the decision of the peace officer to use deadly force is evaluated under the totality of the circumstances, which, quote, shall account for occasions when officers may be forced to make quick judgments about using deadly force. And you could certainly imagine a situation where a driver was driving 100 miles an hour directly towards an officer with the intent to kill that officer. Of course, this doesn't appear to be that situation. The SUV's tires here appear to be pointed away from Agent Ross at the time that the first shot is fired, which would undermine the self-defense claim under the state statutes. Her hands appear to be turning the wheel to the right. Further, at the time that the first shot is fired, the car is not speeding towards Agent Ross, but rather pulling away at an extremely low rate of speed. Thousands of motorists are pulled over every day. Revving the engine doesn't give the highway patrol license to murder the driver. And it's much harder to make the argument that you were acting reasonably and fearing for your life while recording video continuously in one hand and pulling out your gun in the other like Akimbo Deagles.
And besides that, like, I mean, yeah, 100%. Like, you can't have your phone out and fire a one-handed shot and be like, everything was calm and measured. But, like, Renee Good literally said, I'm not mad at you. Said, it's okay, dude, I'm not mad at you. I mean, that was not an angry, out-of-control person.
But certainly nothing is a given when prosecuting law enforcement officers, just ask Rodney King. And Section 609.066 is extremely favorable to the officers themselves. But it's also...
Rodney King, for anybody who's maybe not an American, you know, that was a famous case in the 90s, I believe it was the 90s, where police basically beat a black man, I think to death, and they got away with it, basically.
Also possible that the analysis is different for the subsequent shots or shot fired by Mr. Ross and may not be justified under the Minnesota statute. Unlike the first shot that Mr. Ross arguably took in front of or partially in front of the vehicle, these later shots were taken from the side of the vehicle. Assuming that Ms. Good has committed some sort of felony here, the U.S. Supreme Court has addressed the use of deadly force in the apprehension of a fleeing felon in Tennessee v. Gardner. There, the court explained that, quote, the use of deadly force to prevent the escape of all felony suspects, whatever the circumstances, is constitutionally unreasonable. It is not better that all felony suspects die than that they escape. Where the suspect poses no immediate threat to the officer and no threat to others, the harm resulting from failing to apprehend him does not justify the use of deadly force to do so. Here, interpreting the Minnesota statute under the limitations imposed by Garner, it's difficult to conceive of any reasonable grounds for Agent Ross to believe that Ms. Good's attempt to drive away from the ICE agents would cause death or bodily harm to anyone so as to justify her shooting. Now, given that ICE is trying to add everyone's information to their databases, it's probably a good time to wipe all of your personal and private information off the internet. Your cell phone number, home address, email address, and private social media accounts, and tons of sensitive data are shockingly easy to purchase by anyone online. But malicious
Classic. All right, Eagle.
Fight back and take control of your private information by signing
do your thing, Eagle.
Incogni wipes your personal data from the internet by searching the internet, reaching out to data brokers and
Spellong.
websites, and forcing them
Yeah,
to
I hate Spellong myself.
Will take care of that
Not a
too, because
Spellong
Incogni fights
fan.
back. But what makes Incogni truly powerful in taking back control of your privacy is the custom removals feature. It allows you to flag an unlimited number of sites where your data is exposed.
I believe it's in good taste to watch the ads when we're watching someone else's video.
I've been using Incogni for years now, and in that time you can see I've been on hundreds of lists. some of which had a high sensitivity score. meaning
Yeah,
they
the
both had
agent was
tons
so
of data.
yeah, he
Luckily,
curses
Incogni
after.
has
I
completed
mean,
hundreds of takedowns.
yo, the other thing is
I can never do this
like
myself, so thank you to Incogni for weeks
the
of work and adding
like
into our reports
the second and third
and
shot.
Incogni will continue to conduct ongoing
You know,
removals,
you
because
can't
even if the press removes
justify
the data once,
those.
they can always collect it and publish it again.
No reason to
So if
shoot her
online
3
privacy
times.
is important to you, give Incogni a try. If you scan the code on screen or click on the link in the description, you'll get 60% off their annual unlimited plan. And you can try Incogni risk-free for 30 days. And if you decide you want to keep it, you'll still get the 60% off discount, so long as you use my code LegalEagle, all one word, at checkout. Design for Incogni, or I'll see you in court. And it also seems that any potential reasonability argument
I don't think he'll be charged either.
that Mr. Ross was in fear of his life evaporates the second he's to the side of the car. And additionally, use of force experts analyzing the video footage of the incident have also questioned Mr. Ross's decision to shoot at a moving vehicle at all.
Oh, Lily, the U.S. hasn't won gold for any shooting events at the Olympics with all these shootings because the Americans just get way too horny for guns. They can't. They're horny blind for guns.
Most police departments, including Hennepin counties, discourage shooting at a moving vehicle because deadly force is unlikely to stop a car and could endanger bystanders. Now, it's also not 100% clear that an ICE agent qualifies as a peace officer for purposes of Minnesota's use of deadly force statute. And if so, then Mr. Ross could attempt to defend against a murder charge on the basis of self-defense under Minnesota law. But under this scenario, the state would bear the burden of proving beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Ross was not acting in self-defense at the time he shot Miss Good. But under these circumstances, Mr. Ross would find it difficult, if not impossible, to prevail on a self-defense claim, given that Minnesota's self-defense law applies only where the accused was not the aggressor and imposes a duty to retreat. To defeat a claim of self-defense, the state must disprove beyond a reasonable doubt that at least one of the 4 elements of self-defense, the absence of aggression or provocation in the part of the officer, to the officer's actual and honest belief that he was in imminent danger or death or great bodily harm, and that the action taken was necessary to avert that danger, the existence of reasonable grounds for that belief, and the absence of reasonable possibility of retreat to avoid the danger. And I think a jury would be hard-pressed to find that Mr. Ross did not engage in the aggression or provocation that ultimately resulted in the shooting. Video footage shows Mr. Ross approaching Miss Good's SUV, encircling it on the right side as he takes video with his phone, and re-emerging near the driver's front side of the car. And he first draws his gun as the SUV reverses away from him. And while the aggressor in an instant...
Yeah, he was pulling that gun out way, but like... And it, to some people, I would think they would say like, oh, it looks like she starts moving by the time he's like pulling it out. He's moving towards the gun before that car's moving towards him. He's getting ready. He wants to scare them. He doesn't like that they're talking to him that way. He doesn't like that he just got called big boy, right? So he's taking his gun out because he wants to scare them.
Incident generally has no right to claim self-defense under Minnesota law. An original aggressor can still claim self-defense if he actually and in good faith withdrew from the conflict and communicated that withdrawal expressly or impliedly to his intended victim. But here, the video footage shows no withdrawal or communication of withdrawal. To the contrary, it shows Mr. Ross originally instigating the incident and then proceeding with the escalation of tactics, nearing the vehicle, drawing his weapon, and aiming it at Miss Good. And another hurdle facing Mr. Ross in a self-defense analysis is his failure to retreat. A valid self-defense claim requires the, quote, absence of a reasonable possibility of retreat to avoid the danger.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. Motherfucker could have absolutely fucking retreated. There's nothing that can be said about that. Come on. This dude was, like, say what you want about him being hit, anything like that. He could have reasonably, there was a reasonable possibility of retreat to avoid the danger. 100%. Reasonable possibility of retreat to avoid the danger. Reasonable. All he had to do was just take one step over to the right, quite easy. Probably didn't even have to take a full fucking step.
And the Minnesota Supreme Court has explained that a reasonable opportunity to retreat exists if there are, quote, options for escape or avoidance of peril, rather than directly confronting someone.
Bingo.
And here the video footage shows that Mr. Ross had time to get out of the way of the SUV because he did. Mr. Ross was not trapped. He was not unfettered in his ability to escape, back away, or otherwise protect himself. And in fact, he had the opportunity to take out his gun and shoot the driver. If I was the prosecutor, I would certainly argue that a reasonable officer would have done everything that they can to get out of the way first, before even thinking of unholstering their firearm. And of course, maybe put the video camera down too. Mr. Ross did neither, and still was seemingly unscathed. This failure to retreat or safely avoid the confrontation before resorting to force likely dooms any claim of self-defense in a non-peace officer scenario. On top of that, the state could argue that Mr. Ross did not have
Yeah, that first shot's angle, 100%, was so low on that windshield anyway. Like, that was not going to hit him.
a reasonable basis to believe that he was in imminent danger of death and that the discharge of his firearm was necessary to avert that danger. That's because an objective standard applies to the amount of force used. In other words, the force must be proportionate to the threat and limited to that which would appear to be necessary to a reasonable person under the circumstances. Lastly, it's come to light that Mr. Ross is a 10-year veteran of ICE and was involved in the prior months in a similar situation that did result in his injury. And although Mr. Ross would likely argue that his past experience of being dragged by a car in a previous ICE enforcement operation demonstrates his actual and honest belief that he was in imminent danger of death or great bodily harm, the state might use that same evidence to show that he was still traumatized by that incident and his belief was unreasonable. Now, as if the shooting itself couldn't have gotten any worse, towards the end of the video footage, we see other federal agents impeding a physician's attempt to render aid or to check the pulse of Miss Good as she lay slumped over the steering wheel of her car. Witnesses also report that ICE vehicles blocked an ambulance that arrived on the scene. These obstructions of medical aid
That's fucking sick. That's disgusting.
could prove further grounds for liability against the agents under Minnesota law. Minnesota Statute Section 609.662 imposes a duty to render aid to shooting victims. Specifically, the statute
10-year veteran literally just means he's been with ICE for 10 years. But, you know, ICE, it does not usually do this stuff. Like, they usually patrol the border, and their jurisdiction is 100 miles of the U.S. border. So they don't have the same training that even police have, right? They're not trained in de-escalation or anything that involves civil interaction, you know, community, anything like that. So he's 10 years veteran doesn't mean he's qualified to be doing any of these operations or trying to get into anybody's car.
statute provides the quote, a person who discharges a firearm and knows or
Yeah, 10 years of war crimes and crimes against humanity.
has reason to know that the discharge has caused bodily harm to another person shall 1. Immediately investigate the extent of the person's injuries, and 2. Render immediate reasonable assistance to the injured person. If the victim suffers death or great bodily harm as a result of the discharge, the person who discharged the firearm is subject to imprisonment of up to 2 years and or fines up to $4,000. Here,
That's insane. If you accidentally kill someone by shooting them, $4,000. That's all it costs.
although Mr. Ross does appear to take his time in checking on Miss Good's condition and instructing his colleagues to call 911, his response might be deemed inadequate given that he's whisked away just seconds later. But it's also possible that response does meet the statutory obligations. Now, to the extent that ICE agents might have deterred bystanders and ambulances from reaching Miss Good to administer aid, those agents may also be liable under Minnesota Statute 609.50, which prohibits the obstruction of legal process. That law subjects liability to anyone who, among other things, intentionally interferes with or obstructs a member of an ambulance personnel crew who is providing or attempting to provide emergency care. And the reports are that it took a significant amount of time for the ambulances to appear. ICE agents did not allow ambulances to park next to the victim, and as a result, they were forced to walk a significant distance to render aid. And
Why even do that? Like, you just killed someone, and you're not even gonna go through the steps to make it look like you gave a shit?
penalty for any such violation where the accused knew or had reason to know his obstruction created a risk of or actual death or substantial bodily harm is subject to imprisonment of up to 5 years and fines of up to $10,000. And less significantly, Minnesota's Good Samaritan law imposes a general duty to assist a person at the scene of an emergency who is exposed to or has suffered grave physical harm, but the violation of this law results only in misdemeanor liability. And finally, criminal liability may also be available for the other ICE agents involved in the obstruction of medical care if it's found that these officers' actions or failures to act resulted in a death that could have been prevented by earlier medical treatment under Minnesota Statute 609.205. With all this said, it remains unclear whether the state will in fact press charges. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison has stated that anyone who broke the law as part of this incident will be held accountable. And the Hennepin County's Attorney's Office
Lily, no, I don't think she could have survived if medical personnel got to her fast enough. It seemed like, she got shot in the head, and it certainly just goes to show how much disregard they have towards her life.
office has already stated it has jurisdiction to bring criminal charges against federal officers involved in the shooting, although the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal...
Oh, could you have, yeah, I don't know, yeah. But yeah, everyone's entitled to that medical help.
Apprehension initially said it was partnering with the FBI to conduct a joint investigation into the shooting. It later announced that it has been notified by the FBI that the investigation would be led solely by the FBI, and that the Minnesota Bureau would no longer have access to case materials, scene evidence, or investigative interviews necessary to complete a thorough and independent investigation.
That's fucking suspicious, right? The FBI's taken over. Minnesota doesn't get any access to any of that shit. Oh, we don't even know if she was shot in the head yet. They've told us nothing. Oh, man.
The Bureau further stated it may not be able to present a case for prosecution without access to evidence gathered at the scene of the fatality, especially when it's in the possession of the federal government. But then, of course, there are the immunity issues. Now, despite what noted Yale Law graduate, J.D. Vance says, federal officers do not have absolute immunity simply by virtue of being federal agents. This is, at best, a misunderstanding of established law. The Supremacy Clause of the Constitution does provide some immunity, but it does not give federal officers automatic immunity from state criminal law. We've talked a lot on this channel about qualified immunity, but that's in the context generally of civil suits against state law enforcement officers.
So this Supremacy Clause is something important. Pay attention to it because it is what the Trump administration is going to try to rely on most of all to get out of this. If there's any chance of, this going to court or anything like that, this is going to be what they do.
Here you have the potential of state criminal law applying to federal officers. That doctrine comes from cases that we've actually talked about many times, like In re Nagel, which held that states cannot prosecute federal officers for actions that were authorized by federal law and necessary and proper to carry out federal duties. But that protection is conditional. It's not enough that the person is a federal officer or was on duty. Courts ask whether the officer was performing a federal function and whether the specific conduct was reasonably related to that function. If the conduct was excessive, reckless, or unrelated to legitimate enforcement needs, the Supremacy Clause arguably doesn't block state prosecution.
So it needs to be something that was necessary for this guy to be doing. None of it was necessary. They're gonna lie, though.
The legal question is not, was this an ICE agent, but was this killing necessary and proper to carrying out federal immigration law? The Supremacy Clause defense is fact-intensive and usually cannot be resolved just by holding up a CBP or ICE badge. States may prosecute federal officers if they act outside of the scope of their federally authorized duties or violate state criminal law in ways that are neither necessary nor proper to carry out their mission, but there aren't really many recent examples of state law enforcement charging federal agents. But it does happen on occasion. In a case called Battle versus State of Maryland, a state court allowed the criminal prosecution of a federal DHS agent to go forward after he assaulted someone during an off-duty altercation at a convenience store. Mr. Battle claimed that he had a right to make a warrantless arrest of the victim he got in an argument with, but the court held that the Supremacy Clause did not protect him because he was not carrying out a federal duty, and his actions were neither necessary nor proper to enforce federal law. The court found that Battle had a personal motive to stick up for himself instead of by desire to perform his governmental duties. But this particular case is different because the agent was on duty, apparently and arguably enforcing immigration law in the neighborhood, which drew a crowd. And the video and witness statements indicate that the ICE agent got into a verbal argument with Good and her wife before he opened fire. And you can see in the video, it shows the agent trying to film their license plate. Good's wife said, "We don't change our plates every morning, it'll be the same tomorrow." She then
Oh yeah, Lily, they're already weaponizing her being queer. There's reports of people being harassed, reports from Minnesota of people hearing from ICE being like, this is what we did to the, like the gay one the other day, something like that, along those lines.
Tries to get back in the car. And we know that CBP and ICE agents are now photographing and scanning people they encounter to add to their various databases. But was the shooting necessary and proper to the governmental functions? Well, it depends on what level of abstraction you're talking about. Clearly, he's part of a general ICE operation, but then if you dig into the specifics of actually firing the weapon, that analysis might dovetail with the self-defense analysis that we already talked about. And the Supreme Court hasn't decided a Supremacy Clause immunity case in more than 100 years. So where does that leave us? Well, with a two-part test articulated in the Nagel case, whether the agent's acts were A, authorized by federal law, and B, necessary and proper. And on the first prong, courts disagree about what degree of authorization is necessary. And the second prong evaluates the agent's reasonableness, But courts seemingly don't agree with each other on whether the use is a subjective or objective standard. In the case Wyoming versus Livingston, the 10th Circuit reviewed whether federal officials and a contractor could be prosecuted under state law for trespass and littering after they unintentionally entered private land while capturing and collaring wolves as part of a federal wildlife program. The defendants transferred these state charges to federal court and argued they were immune under the Supremacy Clause because they were performing their federal duties. The appeals court held that they were entitled to Supremacy Clause immunity, meaning the state of Wyoming could not criminally prosecute them for actions taken in the course of federally authorized work. The court reasoned that federal law imposes an obligation on the agents to monitor wolves, and that the agents had an objectively reasonable and well-founded belief that their actions were necessary to fulfill their federal duties, even though they were not authorized to trespass. Now, many people on social
Lily's dropping bangers in the chat.
media will insist that Minnesota authorities can charge Ross with murder based on the video alone, but Minnesota officials will have to consider all of these factors before making a charging decision, and they'll also have to gather a huge amount of evidence. And if they do charge Mr. Ross with a crime,
No, IOF, illegal occupation force.
he'll obviously seek to remove that to federal court, and then they will battle over Supremacy Clause immunity. But to that end, the Hennepin DA wants people to send in videos and photos of the killing to their office so that they can develop an independent body of evidence. It appears the FBI took shell casings, car, and other physical evidence that they would normally use to prove how the crime occurred, but it's not clear that the FBI will turn that evidence over to the state. And
No
you'd hope that
shot.
the federal government
No
would cooperate
shot.
with the investigation, but so far it looks like the Trump administration will do everything it can to stymie it. But since murder has no statute of limitations, it's possible a future administration could still seek to hold Mr. Ross liable for the killing of Miss Good. But that's assuming that Trump doesn't issue a preemptive pardon for Mr. Ross before leaving office. Though ironically, a federal pardon wouldn't stop a state prosecution, but then we go back to federal immunity questions. But even if the Trump administration obstructs the state's access to evidence, the video footage may already be enough to secure conviction. It's certainly not an easy case. It never is when you're trying to prosecute a putative law enforcement officer, but sometimes it's worth the risk. Now, all this highlights.
Damn. Damn. All right, that was a banger. Look, I don't know what's going to happen. A pardon does mean he committed murder, right? And if he's not saved from state prosecution, that might not work in his favor. So I don't know. This is incredibly complex, you know. I don't know anything about the law. That's why, you know, we let the eagle do the talking on this one. But I do think it's important that we arm ourselves with all the knowledge possible on this case, because there will be more instances of this happening. And that's, the sad reality. Things like this will happen again. These ICE agents are untrained. They're fucking idiots. And they're everywhere. They were just in my parents' town today. So, you know, we know this in here. The fascism comes for all of us at any point. You know, nobody's safe from it. So we all need to keep looking at this stuff and stay on top of it and not forget that Jonathan Ross needs to see punishment for the murder he committed. So anyway, that's where we're going to leave it tonight. Guys, thank you so much for hanging. If you're not in the Discord, please join us in the Discord. I just dropped it in the chat. We have such a good time hanging out there, just like we have a great time hanging out here. So anyway, let's leave it at that for tonight, guys. I will see you on Thursday. We're going to finish the Dream Machine, and then we got some new shit coming up. We got new covers coming up next week. No Effects, Separation of Church and Skate. So we'll be shredding that. And if you're in the Discord, let me know any in the music thread, any bands you want me to cover. I'm working on all sorts of new covers right now, getting a new batch ready. So I'm doing the whole I was like, I'm sorry, Ajax. No, I left with the bad story before bed because I was like, oh, this way the good timers can get front loaded, and I did it backwards. Tonight. I don't know what's the best method. We're experimenting. But yeah, guys, thank you for coming out to the stream. Love hanging with you guys as always. And